What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol SPCE for Virgin Galactic Holdings. On the left-hand side, we're looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, we have the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing I want to point out is that today's catalyst did have to do with an investigation, or a probe rather, from the Federal Aviation Administration that sent this massive move to the downside here later on in the session, stemming from about 1:30 onward. So that's essentially the reasoning, but as you know, this is a technical analysis. We're going to look into price action and not so much the fundamentals. So for now, let's start off by mapping out obvious areas of support and resistance from the daily perspective, and then we'll jump in and get a little bit more nuanced with the 30-minute intraday perspective. So for now, just coming in and painting with some broad strokes. These are far away up ahead targets, and then of course this pivot high. Looking left, I want to see if there's any support underneath us here. Looking at this underneath actually strikes me as very important, simply because there's a large unfilled gap underneath us from about 23.57 down to 21.66, and if we start taking out again the gap high, I would imagine that fills fairly quickly. So again, just painting with broad strokes here, but those are the levels from a daily perspective that I'm seeing, at least as of right now. From the daily candle structure, can't really read too much into it, simply because there's a large upper wick, a pretty significant lower wick as well, very tiny little body there. I think it's more pertinent to really look at the intraday data and make a judgment from something like this. For now, what we'll do is take out the Fibonacci's, go from the low to the high, of course, of this move in here. I'm just basically looking at, before the announcement came out, was the consolidation strong? And absolutely, 100% it was. You can see that they were holding way up here before this sell ultimately came out. So to me, holding the 38.2, the buyers did look strong headed into this move. That's sort of going to give me a little bit better of an idea that people are still interested in trading this to the long side, and the catalyst just so happened to shake things up to the downside, of course, but keeping in the back of my mind, again, buyers were confident at these highs of today's session. Now, flipping the script a little bit, and this time going from the high of the breakdown all the way to the low of the breakdown, you can certainly see massive move. Obviously took out the morning low, put in a new low of day, and then rebounded into the close a little bit, but we could never take out the 38.2. If we look at what's going on in the after hours session, currently trading about 25.87. So if we just map out where that would be, 25.87 is certainly underneath our 26.26. Very funny how that happens there. So basically, bearish consolidation in the post market is all I'm getting at here, right? So unless we can really take out the 38.2, and I would really start to argue it's really this structural point here at 26.46. If I just scrunch this chart up, you can see how it's acted in the past as resistance. So you can see resistance, also make pretend, extend that to the left, was prior support, then resistance and support in here, resistance in here. So it does strike me as rather technical level there. So that's the number to beat as we move forward. If we can take it out to the upside, then look for more of this move to retrace. I would argue that the obvious areas to target from the 30-minute perspective would be something like this. And again, this is more of a quick scalp trade. This isn't something that you would swing for, but really looking at 27.33 and then here at 27.83 as next upside targets, should we be able to move up and over that 26.50-ish mark, we'll say, for round numbers sake. Anything higher than that does put in to play today's high, but again, there's a lot of work to be done before that's even on the table. Any rollover, again, or a consolidation that happens down here strikes me as more bearish, and that maybe investors are pulling out on this probe and news announcement. In that case, we just have daily targets underneath 23.57, and then the top of the gap really to pay attention to at 21.66. Based on the trend here from the daily, clearly this is not so good. So be a little bit skeptical if you're someone who's trying to play long here. Maybe just sit on your hands and wait for some more structure to build out. So those are my thoughts here on space. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoy learning about the levels and how I'm seeing things, let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.